Peace, 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 love and light to you all, family. Welcome to another YouTube video with me, your host, Mathix. Now, I hope that wherever you are in the world, seeing that this channel gets some views from different places around the world, I'm very grateful, I'm very honored to be part of, so many people's adventures, so many people's soul adventures. And whatever it is that you are going through, whatever it is that you are experiencing, it may not seem like it at the time, but I would go as far as to say that we put ourselves in these situations on a soul level. Our souls love these type of challenges that we go through because deep down we know of our immortal eternal nature, and this temporary vessel, this temporary hardship, this temporary, this grinding, this friction, it's it's a tool, it's a transition, it's an initiation for your soul to be refined and for your spirit to be quickened. Now, on today's video, I want to talk to you about deja vu. This is something I wanted to talk about a while back, but I kind of forgot. But someone brought it up recently, and I thought that it would be a very nice topic to talk about. Now, what is deja vu? Okay, so the common explanation that we know about deja vu is that, okay, it's when you get the feeling that you've been in a particular situation before, like where you feel like, I know this, or I've been in this moment before. So that's the most common one, where you and usually it lasts for about a second, 2 3 seconds. It could go to 5 seconds, or even could experience deja vu for a whole minute. There's no cap on it in terms of like how long you can experience deja vu for. But if you want to understand deja vu, the first thing that you have to know is the fact that time is non-linear. It seems as though we're experiencing time in a linear way from this third dimensional experience, but time within its core, within its foundation, time is cyclical. So it's something happens, and then that something comes back to happen again, and then something happens, and then it comes back to happen again. Or rather, we could say that time is a spiral. So even though sometimes it seems as though time is coming back to that one spot, it's coming back to that same spot, but then you've evolved, you've grown, your perception is much more expanded than where that point was the previous time that you experienced that spot. So now I'll give you an example. Let's just spread your life of 70 something years into 4 seasons. So we're going to take 1 year and spread it across 70 years, right? And we're going to say that in those 70 years, we're going to cut it into 4. And you're going to experience each season: summer, autumn, winter, and spring, and then you die. So you want to experience seasons as in summer, autumn, winter, and spring, and then you experience it again. No, you just experience it once in one lifetime. So you experience summer, autumn, winter, and spring, and then you die. You come back in another lifetime, and then you experience summer, and then you feel like, oh man, I feel like I've experienced this before. You experience spring, you experience winter, you experience autumn, and then the feelings feel like, no man, I've been in this particular place before. And that is because now you are a projection of memory, or you are a collection of entities inside this one vessel. So your parents have deposited genetic material into you, just as their parents have deposited genetic material into them. And so goes for their parents and their parents. So inside of you, you have a projection of memory 7 generations back and beyond from your father's side, 7 generations and back beyond on your mother's side. So all that genetic material, all that DNA, all those activities, all those gifts, all those talents, all those experiences, all those hardships, all those, overcoming, all those, whatever it is that everyone before you has experienced, it comes back, or it gets deposited into you, and it continues on inside of you. That's why you can have certain sicknesses or certain illnesses or certain gifts, or they can say that, hey, no, this child behaves as such and such, because that such and such has deposited the information of such and such into you. You see, so you now being a projection of memory, you carry all that genetic material, you carry all that genetic information inside of you. So inside of your cells, inside of your DNA, inside of everything that you are. Sometimes you are in one environment, it feels familiar. I've been here before. Your great 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 grandfather has been in that place. Your great 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 grandmother has been in that location. The cells remember that spot. The cells remember the energy of that place. Some people feel familiar to you. You've experienced an encounter with them in a previous lifetime. The contracts of spiritual relationships continue on. So the types of relationships that you are building now, some of them are going to continue in the hereafter, and they're going to continue on in your next incarnation. It's a passing down of information. It's a passing down of knowledge. It's a passing down of the intelligence gathered. Remember, as a species, what we are doing is that we are gathering. So it doesn't stop by one generation. This generation goes so far. And then where they stop, the next generation picks up. All of this doesn't get deleted. Remember, energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It only transforms. So that genetic material transforms into you. Now, that's one form of experiencing what we call deja vu. It's being in a place that your previous lineage or members of your lineage have been in, or situations, or even you experiencing people who you've experienced before. Now, another thing that you need to know about deja vu is that you have multiple bodies. You have your physical body, you have your ethereal, you have your astral body, you have your causal body, your mental body, your spiritual body. You have layers of bodies. The body that you are using right now to watch this video, we call that your physical body. And then right next to that body, there is the ethereal body. That's that body that, when you get a bad feeling, when you twitch, that's the template to the physical body. That's where your aura can be seen. And then outside of that, you have now what they call your astral body. The astral body is the dream body. It's the body that you experience in the astral world. The astral world, I'm going to make a video about the astral world. The astral world is a world similar to everything. So everything that exists in the physical also exists in the astral world. So everything that is in the physical has an astral copy in the spiritual world. Now, in your astral body, the astral body is much more refined than the physical one. It exists at a much more faster vibration. So in the astral world, it is where you can peek into events yet to come. Especially if you are conscious and you've raised your spiritual vibration, you can experience things before they happen. And then once the body catches up, because that's all it is, it's about catching up. The mind, so everything that you're experiencing with your body, the mind, the spirit, the astral version, the spiritual form of you has already experienced those things. The body just catches up. It's like lightning and thunder. The lightning strikes, that would be the astral world. So everything happens in the light planes very fast, right? And then later on, when you hear the sound, those would be the effects. Now the effects are handled by the body. So the lightning and the thunder are of one, they are one in the same. One is the effect of the other. So the lightning would be the astral, the higher planes. That would be the cause. And then the body would be the effects. It's what experiences the effects. So sometimes you experience something in the physical. It's because you've experienced it in the spiritual. That's why it feels as though, no, I've been in this place before. In the astral world, you can travel to the future. You can travel to the past. Because there is no past, no future. It's cyclical. Time is not straight. Remember, you are not bound by time nor space. Only your body is bound. But once you leave the body, you become one with all. Because the all makes up who you are. You see, that's why they say, in my Father's house, are many mansions. These are the different dimensions that you exist in. So, deja vu, in summary, is the experiencing of events that members of your lineage could have been in, could have experienced. Because remember, we have known each other. We are eternal beings. Each soul on the planet, you've experienced them before. In many ways, all souls know each other. We are only new to each other in the physical, but we know each other. We recognize each other because we are of one family, one soul consciousness. Although it exists in different monads and has different missions, but at the basic, at the core, we are of one universal family, and we recognize each other's signatures. And so when we take on terrestrial bodies, when we take on physical bodies, we recognize the signature of the soul that is inhabiting that body. So our bodies are masking our true identities. But once you open your spiritual eye, you can see past that which is veiling what is inside. And so that's where you can now attract certain soul tribes, soul members. It's because you are vibrating on that level that now you can draw them towards you, because you have individual missions and you have soul missions. You have group collective missions, racial missions, tasks that groups of people accomplish or that were tasked to accomplish. So this is it, family. This is the whole thing of deja vu. And also when you're experiencing deja vu a lot, you should just know that it's your light is coming into focus. Your light is or rather your vibration is changing, your frequency, because things happen all the time. People have deja vus all the time. They just don't know because they're not aware. Remember, people will have eyes in the last days, but they will not see. They will have ears, but they will not hear. So people will just be passive to the things. But when you recognize these things, it means that your soul, when you recognize synchronicities and deja vu, it means that your soul is now activating and these higher spiritual perceptions are beginning to open. Now, you are being prepared for a much more higher, much more expanded reality, a galactic consciousness, because that's what all the higher beings are dealing with, multidimensionality. So we exist in a hyperdimensional universe that is always repeating itself, hyperdimensionally repeating itself, folding back to itself like a torus, spiraling like Fibonacci. Peak moments that trigger memory, peak moments that trigger remembering. All of this for the purpose of you remembering who you ultimately are as a universal soul, powerful consciousness. So that's what deja vu is, family. Peace. Much love and light to you all.
Memory of the cells give the resonance to voice. Why things are familiar when you're never in your life. Been in this location, so you're unfamiliarized, but you feel like you've been here twice. Feel like you've been there twice. Walking through the words and the focus in your eyes. Seem that deja vu I improvise. Sound barrier